Lesson 57. Studying accents. Full stroke, upstroke, downstroke, tapstroke. Studying accents. So, in this lesson we'll go further into depth about dynamics, speaking in particular about the accents. Playing an accented stroke means to play it at a louder volume compared to the others. At the beginning of our study course, we spoke of dynamics, and we saw how to play at different volumes. But mostly, we learned to play the so-called jumps between one dynamic and another by keeping the wrist firm. In this case, we'll analyze the so-called Müller technique, which gets its name from the musician Sanford Müller, who developed it. One of the greatest divulgers in the world of this technique was the great drummer Jim Chapin. To apply this technique, which will help us a great deal in playing accents, we'll keep the fulcrum of the grip between the thumb and middle finger, therefore allowing the drumstick to truly be free to move. And we'll look at 4 different strokes: full stroke, upstroke, downstroke, and tapstroke. Full stroke. Full stroke means a stroke that starts from above, with the wrist at its maximum extension, and goes back up after striking the drum. There are 2 different ways to play a full stroke: following the drumstick's movement with the fingers, or opening them as the stick falls and closing them again as they go back up to the starting position. In this case, we apply a free stroke, and we would call the stroke a full free stroke. We've already seen this technique with the exercises to improve the single and double rolls, and we apply them also in both the shuffle and swing accompaniments, with the exception that in those cases we played a free stroke, leaving the wrist down. Therefore, we recalled the fingers in a snap movement on the second stroke. In this case, we're talking about a stroke that is played from the highest point and is brought back to the highest point. Hence, full free stroke. Upstroke. The upstroke is a weak stroke that precedes an accented stroke. It is played by raising the elbow and bringing it slightly forward and totally abandoning the wrist. Therefore, the movement is this. Once you've gained confidence with this kind of movement, you'll play it by letting the stick fall onto the drumhead. This way, you'll have played the upstroke. It's very important that, during the movement of the opening of the elbow, you don't move the tip of the drumstick from the center of the drum. That means you don't do this. But you have to remain at the center of the head, therefore allowing the stick to lightly fall. Upstroke. Downstroke. An upstroke is always followed by an accented stroke, called the downstroke, which is played by bringing the elbow towards your side in its starting position, and at the same time throwing back your hand, making sure the stick has its maximum extension. So, again, the first to move is the elbow that comes down towards the side. Meanwhile, the hand moves like this, and the stick completes its maximum extension, after which the real stroke, with the tip of the stick returning to its starting position, which is a few centimeters from the drum head. It's important that you don't ever squeeze the sticks. You'll obtain this position by simply keeping your wrist firm. Therefore, again, from the upstroke position, downstroke. Tap stroke. And finally, the tap stroke, a weaker stroke that is played by slightly moving the wrist. To correctly play accented strokes and low dynamic strokes, you'll have to put both the upstroke and downstroke together in one singular movement. Initially, you won't have to worry about the upstroke, but rather control the fluidity of the opening movement and the elbow closure, and that everything is as we've said so far. So, elbow slightly forward, bringing up, wrist and fingers are relaxed, the elbow that starts downwards, and stick thrown backwards, so as to return to the starting position. Exercise 1. In the second exercise, we'll put the two strokes together, the upstroke and the downstroke. Exercise 2. With the traditional grip, the movement is this. It's important to note that by picking up the speed, you'll diminish the wideness of the movement. You will study every single exercise with the accents in 5 different ways. In the first way, you'll play normally on the snare, with or without the ostinati on the lower limbs. In the second way, you'll play the accents with the right hand on the floor tom, those of the left hand on tom 1, and all the other strokes on the snare, obviously the opposite if you're left-handed. In the third way, you'll play normally on the snare, following the accents together with the bass drum. In the fourth way, you'll play the accents on the crash, therefore the cymbals, again following these accents with bass drum strokes. And in the fifth way, you'll apply these exercises as fills, distributing them on the entire set. Let's see. Exercise 2, Way 1. Exercise 2, Way 2. Exercise 2, Way 3. Exercise 2, Way 4. Exercise 2. Weigh 5. As you've noticed, in the last fill, I inserted a flam on the accents. This deals with playing the figurations with only one hand. It might be interesting to play them in this way. Now I'll show you the other exercises in eighths from way 1. In eighths. Exercise 3. Exercise 4. Exercise 5. Exercise 6. Exercise 7. Exercise 8. Exercise 9. In triplets. Let's move on to the exercises with triplets. To save time, I'll show you the sound result with just one hand. But you'll have to practice first with one and then the other, and apply the study system that I've just explained. Be assured that every time you find 2 consecutive accents, you'll have to play the first with an undulatory or wavy movement, which I explained, and the second with a full stroke, allowing the stick to bounce. So the movement is this. It's 1 and 2 and. Exercise 1. Exercise 2. Exercise 3. Exercise 4. Exercise 5. Exercise 6. Exercise 7. Exercise 8. Exercise 9. Exercise 10. Exercise 11. You'll have to alternate the exercises, playing one measure each. There are also some suggested combinations. You can play some or all of them. What is important is that you gain more confidence with the Merler technique. Now, to give you an idea, I'm going to play the change between exercise 1, 2, and 3 with triplets. Change 1, 2, 3. In sixteenths. Exercise 1. Exercise 2. Exercise 3. Exercise 4. Exercise 5. Exercise 6. Exercise 7. Exercise 8. Exercise 9. Exercise 10. Exercise 11. Exercise 12. Exercise 13. Exercise 14. Exercise 15. Exercise 16. Exercise 17. Exercise 18.